Welcome to our studio, Crusade for Freedom, located in the heartland of America. Our desire is to be a symbol of hope by spreading the message of freedom to millions. We encourage everyone to visit our website at crusadeforfreedom.com. That's crusade, the number 4, freedom.com. Please be sure to subscribe to our website and like us on Facebook. We are so glad you stopped by today and hope you will keep coming back.
Okay, welcome everyone to Crusade for Freedom. Glad you joined me this evening. I wanted to do a quick reading of a great article by John Solomon. Most of us don't have a lot of time to read. We're taking our kids to school. You know, we're going to ball games. We're doing things. We're engaged in many different activities. So I want to take the time to read this so you can plug this into your car and your headphones on the run. So the article is Trump Can Change History by Declassifying 3 Obama-era Documents. I'm going to break this into 3 sections to make it easy to listen to. It's a lot of information, but it's real important. So let's get started. My sources tell me President Trump is putting the finishing touches on a White House initiative to declassify documents that have remained hidden from the public far too long. This welcome effort to provide more public transparency and accountability almost certainly will focus early on the failings of the now debunked Russian collusion probe. And I'm sure it will spread quickly toward other high-profile issues such as the government's UFO files that have been a focus of clamoring for decades. But my reporting indicates 3 sets of documents from the Obama years should be declassified immediately, because they will fundamentally change the public's understanding of history and identify ways to improve governance. The first includes the national security assessment that the U.S. intelligence community conducted under President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton concerning the Russian nuclear giant Rosatom's efforts to acquire uranium business in the United States. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, made up of Secretary Clinton and 8 other senior federal officials, approved Rosatom's purchase of the mining company Uranium One's U.S. assets in fall 2010, even as the FBI was gathering evidence that the Russian company's American arm was engaged in bribery, kickbacks, and extortion.
Gosh,
Sources who have seen these declassified assessments tell me they debunked the last administration's storyline that there were no national security reasons to oppose Rosatom Uranium One purchase or Vladimir Putin's successful efforts secure billions of dollars in new nuclear fuel contracts with American utilities during the Obama years. There were red flags raised, and the assessment exposed other weaknesses in how CFIUS goes about these approval processes. One knowledgeable source told me, under Obama's sensitive foreign acquisitions almost routinely were rubber-stamped by the CFIUS, and the approval process sometimes was delegated to cabinet officials on the CFIUS to lower-ranking aides. Clinton, for example, claimed she allowed a deputy to decide the Uranium One purchase, even as her family foundation collected millions in donations from parties interested in the transaction, and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, collected a $500,000 speech fee from Moscow. I am so tired of hearing about Russian collusion and Donald Trump. We have FEC filings. This is a travesty against the American people. Ridiculous. It is subversion, almost treasonous, what is going on. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to take a break here, try to lower my blood pressure, and I'll come back and I'll read some more of the article.
The way to make government responsible is to hold it accountable. And the way to make government accountable is make it transparent so that the American people can know exactly what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and whether their interests are being well served. The directives I am giving my administration today on how to interpret the Freedom of Information Act will do just that. For a long time now, there's been too much secrecy in this city. The old rules said that if there was a defensible argument for not disclosing something to the American people, then it should not be disclosed. That era is now over. Starting today, every agency and department should know that this administration stands on the side not of those who seek to withhold information, but those who seek to make it known. To be sure, issues like personal privacy and national security must be treated with the care they demand. But the mere fact that you have the legal power to keep something secret does not mean you should always use it. The Freedom of Information Act is perhaps the most powerful instrument we have for making our government honest and transparent, and of holding it accountable. And I expect members of my administration not simply to live up to the letter, but also the spirit of this law. I will also hold myself, as president, to a new standard of openness. Going forward, anytime the American people want to know something that I or a former president wants to withhold, we will have to consult with the Attorney General and the White House counsel, whose business it is to ensure compliance with the rule of law. Information will not be withheld just because I say so. It will be withheld because a separate authority believes my request is well grounded in the Constitution. Let me say it as simply as I can. Transparency and the rule of law will be the touchstones of this presidency.
All right, and I am back. Since Donald Trump took office and Steve Mnuchin took over as Secretary of the Treasury, laudable legislative and administrative changes have been designed to tighten up the CFIUS process, and the percentage of rejected foreign acquisitions has increased because of more aggressive national security vetting. But sources say the release of Rosatom intelligence assessments would identify additional steps that can improve the process and finally would give Americans a complete picture of what happened during one of the most politically controversial CFIUS decisions in history. Let's move on with the second part of the article here. A second body of documents crying out for declassification is Obama's private correspondence with Iranian leaders. In particular, the October 7, 2014 cable he penned to Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, setting the terms for the controversial Washington-Tehran nuclear deal, reached in early 2016. My sources tell me that letter conflicts with what the Obama administration was telling the American people as he tried to sell the deal politically, and it shows a level of courtship, concession, and trust with Tehran that exceeded the U.S. intelligence assessments at the time. So the same intelligence and law enforcement people, Clapper, Brennan, Comey, that we're supposed to trust, were indicating to the Obama administration that there were national security risks here, and somehow that was no good, but what they're telling us now is good. I'm getting whiplash. We have schizophrenic foreign policy, thanks to Democrats selling out the United States of America. This is sickening. Tired of it. Many of our soldiers, my brothers and sisters, died and bled on battlefields to protect this country, and this kind of crap is going on. So let's move on. For example, my sources tell me that Obama promised Iran it could have a domestic enrichment capacity and that Tehran could be restored to a nation in good standing under the world's nuclear, even though U.S. intelligence had corroborated an extensive weapons program that violated that treaty for years. Not to mention, they took our sailors hostage, and we had to fly money. Obama flew money. First, he laundered the money into euros and other currency because it would have been illegal to send American dollars and yet they were still trustworthy, but you're not trustworthy with your Second Amendment rights to have guns and defend yourself. But people chanting death to America are trustworthy enough to get a pathway to nuclear weapons. This is insane. Okay. The 2014 letter was preceded by at least 3 other private communications between Obama and officials in Tehran, including 2 in 2009 and 1 in 2012. All need to be declassified and released for Americans to better understand the merits of Obama's approach with Iran. Trump since has canceled the 2016 deal with Iran and imposed crippling new sanctions, but the true circumstances, promises, and communications that led to the deal remain secret. The American public has much to gain from more transparency on this critical issue affecting world peace. The final Obama-era trove that requires declassification concerns Hillary's email controversy, a highly classified set of documents that FBI agents identified as important and necessary in the investigation into whether she violated the law by transmitting classified emails on her unsecured private email server. As I wrote last week, the agents never got to review those documents in 2016 before the FBI Director James Comey unilaterally decided not to seek criminal charges against Ms. Clinton. The Justice Department's internal watchdog in 2018 provided Congress a classified annex explaining how the FBI intended to examine that secret evidence, but never did. Sources who have seen the annex says it contains explosive revelations about what really happened with Clinton's emails and the national security concerns that her conduct raised. Uranium One, the Iran deal, Clinton's emails, all have dominated headlines for many years without a full public accounting. Trump has an unprecedented opportunity to close the loop on these controversies and to give Americans more transparency and visibility into what happened, as well as how we can make government better when national security is at stake. Thank you, John Sullivan, for staying on this. Like a hobo wants a ham sandwich. We appreciate the fact that you have been undaunting. Sarah Carter, all of you. I could go through the list from Brian York, Catherine Herridge, Molly Hemingway. All of these patriots are listed on my website. Please go to www.crusadeforfreedom. That's crusade, the number 4freedom.com. Subscribe to my newsletter. We are not sending anything out at this time, but it would be nice to collect stuff so that when we do start doing regular articles, that you'll get our updates and any new media and content that we add to the site. Also, please go to our Facebook, Crusade for Freedom, Crusade, the number 4 Freedom, and like us and follow us there. It's going to take us a while to get things rolling and to get into a battle rhythm. But if you can join, and like I said, so wonderful to be able to do this in this free country, and we don't want to lose this. We want to be able to pass this on to our children, and we want to be able to hand them an America that was as good as what we were handed. And we just love this country so much for all the blessings we have received. So God bless all of you, and God bless America, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. So thanks for listening, and please keep coming back. Have a great day.